Hello, fight fans, boxing aficionados, boxing heads. A lot of people have been talking about Mikey Spence fight. After the Mikey Spence fight, a lot of the hardcore Mikey fans started saying that, hey Spence, why don't you go up there and fight Canelo? Since Mikey went up 2 weight classes, which in actuality it was only one, why don't you take that same risk and fight Canelo Alvarez at 160? I think that's a pretty desperate cry from the hardcore Mikey fans. Keep in mind, this isn't an attack on the Mikey Garcia fans. I like Mikey Garcia. I'm Mexican American myself, so I have a reason to root for him. But I try to view boxing in a non-biased way. I try to view boxing in a way that I look at the fighter's abilities, fighter A's abilities and fighter B's abilities, and I take it from there. I'm realistic. I don't try to lie to myself. I do place money on a lot of these fights, so I'm not in the business of losing money. So I think that's pretty a desperate call for Spence to fight Canelo. I mean, Mikey made the decision to move up 2 weight classes or one and go for the big dog right away. Can Spence fight Canelo? Can it be a competitive fight? Right now, absolutely not. But if he does the things right and he moves up slowly, he can absolutely give Canelo a good fight. If Errol Spence Jr. goes to 154 first, has a couple of fights, then fights for a title, and then 2 years later does the same thing and moves to 160, his body will become accumulated to the 160 weight. He'll be able to carry that weight a little bit more naturally. Keep in mind, Errol Spence is the same height as Canelo. He's 5'9". He has a longer reach than Canelo. He's a naturally bigger guy. Okay, so then without a question, Errol Spence Jr. can in the future fight Canelo at 160, and it can be competitive. Although from what I see right now, I still give the edge to Canelo. I think Canelo's a little bit more skilled than Spence, but Spence, as he fights more and more, he'll get more experience and he'll get a little bit better. Yes, I think Spence is a year older than Canelo, but Canelo has more fights than Spence. Yes, Spence has a more amateur background than Canelo, but as far as the professional fights, Canelo is the one with the more experience. So in a way, Spence is still learning. I don't want to say still learning, but Spence is going to get better. He showed that against Mikey Garcia. Against Mikey Garcia, he wasn't your usual come forward fighter who doesn't really defend himself, and I think he does that because the other fighters weren't hurting him, and I think he knows that eventually he was going to catch him. With Mikey Garcia, he made it a point to display his skills. He made it a point to say, hey, I'm not this come forward fighter. I'm not Margarito, like he said. I could actually box. I could actually use my jab. I could actually use lateral movement. I could actually use angles on you. I could actually mix it up, and boy, he did that. Now, it's a little unfair. I mean, Mikey did go up in weight, so he was at a disadvantage, but Errol Spence showed that he does have more baggage, more tricks in his bag. He does have more to his arsenal. So for Mikey hardcores, not Mikey fans, but the Mikey Garcia hardcore fans, or as they call them, fanboys, that's not a fair call to be asking Errol Spence to move to 160 and fight Canelo. Mikey Garcia called Errol Spence out. Errol Spence is not calling out Canelo, so let's just stop it. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. Late.